Welcome to our pod. And by that, I mean on Wednesdays we read. I'm Hannah.
I'm Laura.
And we are two best friends who usually do a deep dive into a new book series, one book at a time. But today we are three
best friends.
Because we welcome back to the pod MJ Kuhn, author of Among Thieves, Thick-Ass Thieves, and co-host of SFF Addicts. Welcome back, MJ.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, we love to see you here. So, and also the author, I'm so sorry, I'm remiss, of Killswitch Protocol, the book we're discussing today, and it's out today based on the schedule. Such a bop of a book, a beautiful cover. Cannot get over it. Look at that beauty.
Oh my gosh,
Gorgeous.
right? I'd say, Katerina Balakova, my cover artist, absolutely crushed it.
Okay, this name's, is this Adrian's cover artist as well?
Yes.
Okay, we just talked to Adrian and I'm like, is that the same person?
You're like, Katerina Balakova. It's just a really common name. They're everywhere. A whole bunch of
You
Katerina
met
Balakovas.
one, you met 15.
Right?
It's fine. They're all cover artists.
The whole thing. Yeah, it's like the John Smith name of the cover artist industry. It's weird.
If we had recorded this 2 days later, it would have never crossed my mind that this was the same author.
Yeah, Laura would have like,
It's
oh
like
my
back
gosh,
to
I
back.
never heard of her before. That's fascinating.
Well, it's so funny because like Adrian and I are in the same like writing group or whatever.
Oh, cool.
And so is Michael Vadney, who also used Katerina Balakova.
You know what? Maybe this is just the day that we're like, we're going to just start covering all of her cover art books, and anyone who's done it, add us, and you're
follow
coming
her
on the
along.
pod.
That would actually be a really hilarious thing, Hannah, if we just like found all of the books
Right?
that
Like
Katerina had
everyone
created
she
the art.
has.
These poor authors who are like, so you're just a big fan of my work. We're like, we're a big fan of your artist.
Right, we're actually
interested
big
in the cover.
We're Balakova heads over here.
We're
right?
Balakova heads. It's fine. Well, MJ, can you tell us a little bit about Killswitch Protocol?
Yes. Okay. So as I said right before we hit recording, and then Laura was like, record. I call it my anti-capitalist scream into the void. So it's a cyberpunk thriller, kind of. It's set in a near-ish future version of what is now the United States, but in Killswitch Protocol, it has gone through nuclear war, and there are now just pockets of society living in little bubbles. And the bubble that we are in for this story is called New Everida, which is ruled by a corporate board of advisors and a principal chairman and an algorithm, most importantly of all. And the algorithm controls everything about the society, from how many crops we plant for this season to what our transit lines look like to who lives and who dies. So yeah, and we follow our main character. Starts out the society is also brainwashed, right? Everybody thinks this algorithm is
For the greater good.
the sliced bread. Yeah, they call the process by which the algorithm kills you, they call it ascent, right? And it's a beautiful thing. It's what you want. It's what you aspire to. If you reach ascent, that means that you've achieved everything you were supposed to in this world. So it's a beautiful way to die. And
it's very much tied into like this cult-like religion too.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, every single chapter of the book starts with a little excerpt from the Handbook of Lucre, because it's Lucre's algorithm. And so you kind of get indoctrinated into our little cult as you read the book. Although I'm guessing most readers will be like,
I mean, hopefully we're not getting indoctrinated to this. Hopefully we have the sense.
At the end of the book, we're like, look, we could ascend someday, guys.
We could.
We get to the end and we're like,
the dream.
You're like,
I'm
it's
in.
my anti-capitalist scream into the nightmare. And we're like, no, MJ's just building this utopian society where
don't
everyone
understand. Yeah.
We're brave new worlding it. Yes.
production over everything, guys.
Exactly. See, now we're onto something.
Well, MJ, when you were on a while ago to talk to us about Among Thieves, we learned that you keep like very detailed notes about your characters and your world building, and you have like all these processes to create your characters, doing like little interviews of them and everything. And I was kind of wondering, did that become more involved when you're working in like this sci-fi dystopian world where there's a lot of technology and different political factions and everything? And even I was going to mention, but you already mentioned it, the excerpts at the beginning of the chapters, like building the religion out and everything. What did all this process look like?
Yeah. So this book was a long time coming. I wrote the first draft of this book during COVID, I think.
Oh, wow.
So, a long time ago. And then I had a version of it that was uh done,
Mhm.
completed, ready to go theoretically. But then I revisited it last year in 2025 and took a look at it and went, "Oh, I'm older and more jaded now, and I have strong opinions about things." So,
Aren't we all in
right?
that same boat?
Like
Isn't it
we've
so
all
sad when it's like, oh yeah, the me inside the house that was radicalized, nowhere near me in 2026.
right?
Like,
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I thought that was me. Woo. All right. But yeah, so then we added, that's actually where the religion element came in. That piece of the puzzle was not so much, I mean, it was kind of there, you know what I mean? But it
Mhm.
was not at all fleshed out as it is in the final book. Also, like a lot of the high control elements of the society were came in the later draft as well. Like, um, you start it's the plot of the book is largely the same as it was in back in 2020, but it's more just the details of the world. Like, okay, we have a very finite amount of space, and that is the central kind of problem of the book. That's the reason why the algorithm exists, right? Because we need population control if we have only the space that's inside this bubble that people can live in
Mhm.
without dying a horrible death in the nuclear wasteland. uh so
Just say that just so calmly.
that's fine. But
Here are
so
your
then
options.
it made me start to wonder, okay, well then it wouldn't just be death that we would need to have a lot of control over. It would also be reproduction. So that's where that's not like, I mean, it is, I guess, kind of a central part of the story as well, but that's where those pieces came in later in the process too. So yeah, it's it was probably also the most research intensive book I've ever
Mm.
written, just because fantasy is like, I mean, yeah, there's some research. You're going to maybe draw from historical contexts or, do some research on cultures and climates and, based on where you're setting your,
Or
your
swords. How
stuff.
dare you get those swords wrong?
Yes, swords, horses, right? Boats.
Horses. Yeah, don't
Okay.
mess those up.
Yeah, don't mess up horses or boats. Those people will come
Yeah.
for you.
and you
Uh,
can never waive your. I'm in an editing group where there's a woman who's writing a book about like lawyers, and so I'm like, well, your law isn't right, but there are also witches in this book, so if you wave your hand and you say it's magic law, I'm going to ignore whatever you just told me.
Some of the
right?
biggest fandoms are boats, lawyers, horses. We can't disrupt
We
those.
can't, they'll fight us. But yeah, this one I had to do research on. The technology is largely made up in the book,
Mhm.
but it extrapolates on stuff that exists now or stuff that could exist. But also, one of the biggest research and prep parts of me planning this book was actually the world building of the. You didn't even really see it on the page, but like how, okay, let's imagine we have had World War III. Hopefully, by the time this airs, we're still just imagining that. Uh, and but
Like,
and
it's a month
Check
and a half
social media,
away.
friends.
and so I'm like, you never know these days. But and the world is completely changed, right? From because now World War III would be like pretty much everyone's got these
Mhm.
massively destructive weapons. So the entire landscape of the world has changed. What are the country structures that we are going to reference? Like,
Mhm.
we only see inside of New Averita in the book, but they reference other
Mhm.
parts of the world that they're doing, trade with or have hostility with, things like that. And then, just in terms of how climate change would impact the world during that time too, right? Like it's a on the page, but New Averita is in southwestern Georgia, but it's on the coast. Sorry,
Mhm.
Florida, you're gone in this
They're
book.
gone.
But I did a lot of research on like likely
I I mean, likely New York, Florida. Sorry, friends.
right,
Great.
So yeah, that was a lot of the research and prep work that went into this book, was more so for, for those little details that hopefully readers just kind of don't even notice, but the reason they don't notice
Mhm.
it is because it makes sense, hopefully. So yeah.
We're up here in the Midwest, like
Yeah.
we're safe.
Yeah, we're gonna be our little pocket
It's
here.
very dry, but we're safe.
It's gonna be okay.
We're gonna deal with different problems, but
I
Yeah.
think we already are.
yeah.
Fair.
Well,
Fair.
and the overall premise of this book is so interesting because you also have a lot of moving parts character wise. Like we have
Mhm.
Liv, who really believed in the world she lived in. She was brainwashed and then starts, getting woke, as it were. We have Sinya, I'm so sorry, I'm not sure how to say that
No,
name.
you
And
nailed it on the first
Sinya,
try. Yep.
perfect. Someone who has kind of walked away from everything and is battling like what is the right answer in a revolution, which I always think is a fascinating topic. And then
Mhm.
you have Reina, who profits from the world itself and has some good motivations, but is also like rancid in some of her motivations. What was it
Raina's
like?
actually like fascinating.
Yeah. She was fun to write.
It's so fun when you're reading and you're like, oh, this is so nice and refreshing to have this. And then the next paragraph, you're like, never mind, I take it back.
You're like, shut up, you.
Darn
Uh,
billionaire character.
just your usual millionaire. What was it like? Like, tell our listeners a little bit about these characters, but what was also like playing with these characters and their battling motivations?
Yeah. So it's so fun. As you mentioned, we have three POV characters. We have Liv Spencer, who she starts the story as just kind of this office drone in this very dystopian future world. That is, yeah, parroting the party lines of like, we're celebrating ascent. The first chapter sees her going to one of these really elaborate ascent ceremonies and just filled with this fervor and love for this
It
process,
gave me Met Gala vibes where I was like, what is happening here? Why do people like this?
Yes, what is going on? Yeah, very supposed to be like unsettling and
Mhm.
hopefully I've
It very
had
much was.
more than one reader text me, "What the fuck, Mallory?" after chapter 1.
See, I
And
was the most bothered
I'm
when the
like,
body came out. And I was like, oh, this is
"What?"
actually just awake.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
like
thought it was a celebration of his life. And he's like, bye,
It
everyone. And
is
it's
a
like, no,
celebration of
no,
life.
no.
The Book of Luca told us so.
yes,
Sorry,
the Book
small
of
spoiler.
Lucre. Yeah, spoiler for chapter 1. I know. But then, well, and I'm about to spoil chapter, I think, 2, because it's on the back of the book though, so you can spoil it for yourself. But Liv starts to go through this character arc when her husband uh reaches ascent. But the suspicion or the circumstances are suspicious, and she's not sure that she feels like he's actually accomplished everything that he was put on this earth to accomplish. They've just gotten approval finally to procreate, and like all these great things are supposedly going to happen, and then it's just cut short. And that's when she starts to question things. So yeah, the story follows her arc, and then she eventually ends up running into, some of our other characters. So Sinya Raimi is our second POV character, and I call her, she's the classic MJ Kuhn character, right? Like if you've read Among Thieves,
Tasty.
Thick as Thieves, yeah, she's our mercenary character. She's a badass lady. She's got a big old gun. She has like cybernetic enhancements and like really cool stuff. But yeah, she used to work as like a bodyguard, an enforcer for the board of directors, and she also had her like come to Jesus moment, but it happened before the book begins. And now she is working with this revolution that is existing off the grid in one of the kind of boroughs of New Everetta, this big city state. And then our third POV character is Raina Arthur, who is one of the members of this board of directors. So we get to see inside the nitty gritty, grimy politics of this world and see just how screwed up it really is. And she has kind of a rough time too, but we don't feel too badly for her because she's the billionaire and part of
She
the
like
problem.
she sometimes has great motivations. Then she's like, but I'm really here for profit. So
Mm. Yeah, Raina. Okay, she was very fun to write. She's kind of just like
She's such a tricky character though, because like, so the whole ascent process, the Killswitch Protocol, if you will, is essentially it's said that it's created as like this population control, but it's more of a control
Yeah.
anymore. And
Or at
it's
one point in your
interesting.
book, I think you say population control.
Yeah.
Control, yes. It's italicized.
It's both.
But we see Reina, who's like working within the system to try and use science to come up with an alternative, even though she's doing so many bad things too. And we also see those in like Emerson's crew, like in the Undercity, that are like working on this rebellion and just they've got an idea of what they want to do. And they're like, you know, we don't know if this is the best way forward, but we're just going to kind of try to let the chips land where they will. Do you think it was difficult to kind of play out how these two essentially different methods of rebellion do benefit each other in a way?
Yeah, well, and that's I one of the things that I wanted to explore in the book, and I was a little worried about how it was going to be received, but so far readers have been like, yes, like I get it, and I've been like, okay, good, because I didn't want it to seem like I'm being um like I'm apologizing for the system or making concessions that like, oh well, maybe things aren't so bad. I just mostly wanted to explore how messy revolution is. It's, I love a
Mhm.
good book, also a good story where it's, oh yeah, just burn it all down and whatever. But I wanted to tell a bit of a different story here where it's like, okay, yeah, burn it all down, then what?
Mhm.
Now what? So yeah, the story explores a lot of really complicated things with that. And then with Reina, she's ultimately, profit is God in New Everetta, right? I mean, the algorithm is God, but the algorithm is designed to maximize the profits of the companies that belong to these board members.
Mhm.
So Reina is really her rebellion is not so much to make the world better, but just because she sees the potential to make a ton of money,
Yeah.
right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of one of those classic, like doing the right thing, maybe for the very wrong
Mhm.
reasons.
Yeah.
Which, she sometimes gets things right, but often she doesn't because her motivations are just very, very self-centered for much of the book. So, yeah, no, but it is without spoiling the end, we kind of do get the chance to see how everything clicks together and helps and hurts each other's plots by
It
the
very
time we get
much
to the
gives me
end.
vibes of like Andor, like people who like the TV show Andor, I think will also vibe with Killswitch Protocol just because we have similar types of rebellion that are happening and themes within there that are very similar.
Yeah, that is actually the second time I've heard it comped to Andor, which shame moment as a Star Wars fan. I still haven't watched Andor. I need to. I've heard it's
We
so
have to stop
good.
recording now and you
I
need to
know,
go.
I know. You're like, go watch it immediately. When it's so funny because like Rogue One is like one of my favorite Star Wars movies. So like
So good.
I absolutely need to watch Andor. I suck at watching TV shows. I'm like always
Fair
Rogue
enough.
One
perennially, I'm always
is
behind.
Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars, and I know that Andor was good. Laura had me watch season one. This is like my failure as a nerd. Anytime I watch a Star Wars anything, I forget what happened immediately after watching it. Like I walk away, and
Yeah.
it's like I'm mementoed, where I'm like, or I was like,
Memento.
I watched something, I'm sure, and Laura's just
Hannah
like, we
also
should
has
watch.
a youngest child thing with things that I suggest to her though, where I'll be like, you should really watch this. And then she'll be like, never.
I don't
Like,
want to now.
and so I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, I'm just not gonna suggest it.
I
And
won't
then maybe
say
she'll come across it
anything.
organically.
I will say I will. I like because she was like, we should do Andor season two for a TV Tuesday. I was like, great. I will have to rewatch season one.
Right?
I have no idea
Like,
what
What a
happened in
great
that TV show.
time
remember
to
nothing.
rewatch it.
Right? Laura's like, is
I
this a bad thing?
Laura's like, come on, I'm giving you a gift, Hannah. Uh, no, but that makes sense because a lot of this story about revolution, you also kind of take a very stark look of like, what is revolution and what is revenge, and how do those two things coexist when you're battling a system that fails people? And so, like, what made you kind of want to delve into that theme more and kind of deal with the complexities of it in your characters?
Yeah. I mean, because it's such an important topic, I think, in any society. It's been explored, time and time again, this revenge, this revolution, we see it in all kinds of stories because it's relevant in like every era of history. No, I really wanted to explore kind of the messy parts of it, especially, a lot of the details of that also came in my later edit that I did in 2025. And the reason why I call this book a scream into the void is because there is a real, when you are just a normal person, as we are, there's a real feeling of just complete impotence when you see things that are
Oh.
broken in the world. And the problem seems so large you can't possibly wrap your arms around it. Even when, so in this book, even when the problem is actually pretty simple. We got chips in our brain that'll zap us dead, and that's a bad thing, right? Like, that's pretty black and white, easy. However, the systems and the beliefs and the structures in the society that all prop that up make even such a simple issue really, really complicated.
Mhm.
So yeah, I really wanted to explore that. And then yeah, I love that phrasing of like the difference between revenge and revolution, right? Because every revolution in some capacity is a bit of revenge, right?
Yeah.
Because these, the people that are rebelling have beef with the system that screwed them, right? But yes, I think that's where we kind of get into the heart of the okay, well, just burn it to the ground is pure revenge.
Hmm.
Making a plan for what comes after, figuring out what system we're replacing. We don't just want to oust the despot or, whatever. We need to figure out what comes next, or else something worse could spring up in its place, which is also something we've seen time and time again in quite recent history.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I love that phrasing. I don't know if I've heard that phrasing described of it before. The revenge versus revolution. I'm stealing that. So
You should use it in every single
TM.
clip. Just make
yeah,
sure
just
that you're
make
like,
sure.
our pod told me this.
Yeah,
That
TM. Hannah.
Hannah, I will.
I really like that though, you talking about like how you feel like there's so many things that seem out of our control and how this is kind of the way for you to kind of express how we can get involved in rebellion. And there, like you said, there do seem to be ways right now even that we can get involved and make things simpler than they actually are. Like, and I think we're all feeling a lot of that too. So it's refreshing that you're writing a book like this that's kind of maybe a little hope inspiring for people, that even though it's a science fiction book that's set far in the future and very video game-esque, but I think there's very much like themes that we can take away from this now and be like, hey, don't you can do something. Like it's not quite as difficult as you think it is.
Right, yeah. Like we see multiple characters actually in this story taking like the first steps,
Hmm.
on one path or another. So yeah, just take those baby steps.
You also play a lot with like the concept of freedom too, because we have a lot of these people that are in, is it Upper Lucara? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Upper Lucara is one
Okay.
of the boroughs of this city state. Yeah.
And they're kind of like it, the Met Gala people, the people that remind me of like the Capitol from the Hunger Games almost, where they're these very wealthy people who are a little out of touch, very into the ascent and all this. And they they feel very thankful and they're very much buying into all of it because they're granted so many things with these chips. So they have access to like their health records and they have access to games and they have access to financial information, all these different work, all these different things that they can just like literally tap on their temples and these things appear for them. And it's interesting because it's also, like you said, just a way to control them more. Like we
There's
can
nothing
access
like
their
that
health
that
because
Right.
has any hold on
We
us
have
that we're
no
willing to
idea
sign
what that's
away
like.
our
like
as I hold up my Google evil phone.
as I was suggested ads, but
For
we won't
things
get
I've
into
never
that.
even looked up. Yeah.
Uh,
But I was kind of, and we do see like Liv is getting these wake up calls in like real time in the book, and I think it's interesting to see like these thought processes like play out for Liv, where she's like, oh well. I guess that actually is kind of a bad thing that they know about our location and can come here when we're in health distress because they are going to control what happens to our health. What kind of made you want to explore this concept of control or free will or freedom in and how society takes it for granted?
Yeah. I think it's just such a it's a question that is uh, freedom versus safety, right? Freedom versus convenience, right? These are questions that I think it's a spectrum or a balance, and every society is trying to find the proper balance. And it just so happens that the people in charge often have a different idea of what the balance should be and different motivations for having that idea. And in New Everida, yeah, we have these chips, and yeah, you can just walk into your house without worrying about keys because the door knows it's you because of the
Like
chip.
cattle.
Yeah, I know, right? You can, if you have a health emergency, you don't even have to call 911 because the chip is synced up to the hospital system. And so they will know that you are having a health emergency, and doctors will be sent to come save you or collect you and bring you to the hospital. That seems kind of good if we
As someone
just,
with health anxiety, like sometimes that is my dream where I'm like,
yeah,
I've never had this food before. If I go into anaphylaxis,
anaphylactic shock. Yeah,
they'll
like
come for me. They'll
someone
know.
will save me. Yeah. It's like, okay, that parts of that sound really good until and I don't want to spoil, but we see there is a scene in the book where we see there is a health
Hmm.
emergency that is happening. Uh and the character doesn't want
Yeah.
Right.
doesn't want medical attention, doesn't want
It's a
the
really
powers that
harrowing
be.
moment.
Yes, and it leaves Liv is involved in that scene, and it leaves her feeling very powerless and
Hmm.
uh confused about the society
Hmm.
that she's
Yeah.
in, because a lot of these systems that have just been assumed benefits, she's seeing the evil in them, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. And then we haven't even talked about Emerson yet, who's one of my favorite characters. He has a cat. But
That he had to get a permit for.
yes, his cat's name is Black Hat because Emerson is our hacker, and I thought it was
Mhm.
funny.
Good.
But
Very
but
cute.
he's our revolution needs this. He is central to this
Hmm.
revolution because how the heck do you start a revolution in such a high control society? Well, we need a way to get off the grid in a world where that
Hmm.
should be impossible, right?
Hmm.
So there's, all of these ways that they're trying to get around this system, but it's so ingrained in every single aspect of
But also
society.
utilizing it too in
Yeah.
order to.
Oh yeah.
So it's very much like a we hate the system, but we're definitely going to manipulate it to our own benefit.
100%. Oh
And
yeah.
like this is shady, but okay.
Yes. Well, and the leader of our revolution is a character named Torin Calix,
Hmm.
and he's uh, complicated. you know,
That's very kind of you to just
he's
say
Yeah.
he's a
His
complicated guy. He's got he honestly, I think he and Reina are kind of foils for one another, right? Where they
Yeah.
yes.
both have this kind of mentality of wanting, being really maybe horse blinders
Hmm.
on wanting to do the right thing in their mind, the right thing for them.
Mhm.
And sometimes they make good choices, but a broke clock is right twice a day, right? Like,
It's also interesting too because we see the people around them who trust them and like believe in them start to see kind of the cracks develop in that trust and a little bit in that belief because they're seeing the true sides of them, which I think is a fascinating thing to play out.
yeah, just lots of people losing faith in this story.
Well,
Yeah.
a huge thing that I was fascinated by in your book that you do such an effective job of is like showing how often systems are kind of just stupid in general. Because like you have the Book of Lucre, but at like one point someone is like, he didn't develop any of these stuff. He was just like a marketing guy who was really good at being the voice of this. And everyone's like,
It's
what?
very much
Like,
like it was a televangelist and everyone just bought in.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
then you
that's
have
literally the history of this world, right? Like,
like, and the leader of the revolution is just kind of like a mouthpiece where people are like, well, we like what he has to say, and he's charismatic. And like Reyna, she's charismatic. She gets people on your side. And so like there's so much to this where, and like even with uh with your hacker character, he's just like, oh yeah, I was able to hack the system because like you just have to do it this way. And it's like, oh yeah, of course there's a giant loophole that no one
yeah.
thinks about
Mhm.
because that is the way we set up systems. Things are so dumb and systems are dumb. And like, was it because obviously this is your capitalistic scream into the anti-capitalistic scream into the void. Was it kind of fun, like poking fun at these types of systems and building it up? And like, how did you go about figuring out what was the right way to poke fun and like the way to show how ridiculous this all was?
Yeah, well, I mean, because you're totally right. Like so many of these systems are just ridiculous and broken, and we have like to the point, Luker, this like basically the guy that created this algorithm. Nah, he just had good messaging, and like I work in marketing in my day job, so a lot of that is very top of mind, right? Like
So, are you
I'm not
giving
marketing
us some
evil,
insight in
but
what's actually happening? Or...
right, like it's coming for us. I hope not.
I hope this wasn't a warning.
Right, right. Well, I mean, I guess kind of though. It's like I guess it's a lesson in media literacy, where it's like a lot of times people follow or give undue weight to
Mm-hmm.
what the loudest person is saying,
Hmm.
just simply by virtue that they're the loudest. Or that they happen to have all the right little words to say. We see Reyna, I think, is the most where it's laid the most bare because we get
Hmm.
to really see, we don't get to see inside Torrhen's head. We don't really get, Luker's not really on the page, but Reyna, we get to see not only her doing this like manipulative messaging in various areas, but the rationale that goes behind it, right inside her head. What's she thinking when she is crafting these messages and these systems? I also think, yeah, with the giant loophole, I actually wrestled with that for a little bit where I was like, is this too simple? And then I was like, no, but it is that simple often.
Hmm.
Like, right? And as a person
Yeah.
who used to work in software,
Yeah.
like there would be so many times we would test the crap out of a new thing and then you launch it to the masses and they find stuff you never even dreamed that, like, what, oh well, what happens if they input whatever, something completely irrelevant in this field? Oh, it breaks everything. Well, okay, we didn't
And then they
know
posted to Reddit
that
immediately.
anyone would do that. You know what I mean? Like that's just how systems are, and especially I think I wanted to have it be in such a high control society where so few people are making so many of the decisions for everyone. They're blind to stuff, right? They
Hmm.
don't see. There's so many things they don't see. And often the things they don't see screw over the people under them. And I thought it was kind of fun to have one of the things they don't see screw them over a little.
Well, and sometimes they're doing that to the people under them because, like, it was such an interesting discussion when they were talking about how food and just like nourishment is a way of control. And if you actually
Hmm.
nourish someone effectively, it gives them too much of an opportunity to want freedom. And I was like, that is dark, but it's so true of like if you start taking care of people's hierarchy of needs, they start looking at all the other needs to take care of. And
Yes. Yeah.
And
Oops.
that is also playing out
I
in our
know. I was just
society
gonna
today.
say
uh
hello.
Dun dun
We
dun.
love it here. It's great.
It's like the
sure.
meme, everything's on fire and
Yeah. It's
it's
fine.
fine.
We're fine. Yeah.
Just watch more TikTok. It'll be okay.
Right. Watch more
Right.
TikTok and get 87 ads for GLP-1s in
Oh
Oh,
4 seconds. Yeah. We
so
love it
MJ,
here.
there's this game in Killswitch Protocol called Wasteland Warriors, and it kind of looms heavily throughout Killswitch Protocol. And it's a game that Liv plays, and it connects her to others, and it also kind of gives little hints about the outside world and the algorithm too. And I was wondering if you could talk to us more about incorporating this game into the plot and how video games kind of became an inspiration for different themes within Killswitch Protocol.
Yeah. I just love games. So initially I was just like, I'm gonna have Liv be a gamer because I like games. Uh but then, as these things do when you're going through the outlining and then writing and then editing and then rewriting and then rewriting and rewriting processes, it becomes a little deeper. And I think that the art that I wanted to include a lot of art and media in this world. So we see references to television shows and
Hmm.
movies. We see references to video stars, like movie stars, basically, right? And we have art museums and we have video games, right? And I think that all of those things are a really good reflection of a society and the world in which they exist. And so we have this game, Wasteland Warriors, where it is just you get to be a adventurer roving out in the waste outside of the walls, and you can whatever build settlements and take over things, and it's basically like a big MMORPG,
Mhm.
um I think that yeah, Wasteland Warriors, first of all, it's just fun. It gives us an more insight into Liv. Um but it also shows us, okay, is this what the outside world looks like? This is why we need to stay inside the bubble, which is a fun world building trick for like me as the writer to not have to just like say that. I can show it through the video game, but also it's communicating to the characters, right? Like we have this game. This is why, and we see also references to books and movies that are banned, that are not allowed in New Everetta. Wasteland Warriors is allowed. I wonder why. Because it serves to control the population
Yep.
by showing them that they should be afraid of the society that's outside of this safe bubble of New Everetta and the wonders of the algorithm.
Beautiful.
It's super interesting, and it gives me a little bit of like certain dystopian, like a little bit Fallout vibes, but like if you're also incorporating in like dystopian worlds where like they're telling you, oh, the outside world is bad, like The Giver or something, where it's like the outside world is bad and we don't want to think about
Don't
that.
go
And
there. Yeah. Well,
years
I
ago
love
we did
every
this.
time someone brings up The Giver, I'm so excited because that is like when I've been pitching it, or when I was pitching it like initially to like my agent, like we sold audio rights and stuff. So part of that pitch was, I was like, it's like Logan's Run meets The Giver. It was like kind of what I was going for. So every time
Hmm.
someone picks up on The Giver part, I'm like, yes.
That's that's beautiful because right now I've been quoting that SNL sketch where that woman's like describing the giver and the people are going, oh, that's sad. But they can see purple, right? I love purple.
Oh my God. I need to
Oh,
check out that sketch. I haven't seen it, but I
it's
do.
very fun. It was up on I like I randomly saw it and I have a weird obsession with Selena Gomez and she was in the sketch. So she's like, oh, that's sad. All right, bye. Like
Bye. Oh, I love it.
well, video games, all of this stuff. The cover of your book, we talked about this at the beginning of the interview, but like it's gorgeous. And
Hmm.
the inside, like
Yeah.
I didn't get Laura her copy yet, but I do have it for her. But like look at that. That's just so beautifully done. Can you tell us more about the cover and design for this book?
Yeah. So this has been super fun for me because this is a whole new process for me. Among Thieves and Thick as Thieves were through Saga Press, like came out from a, traditional publishing house. Killswitch Protocol, where like, I've sold some of the rights, like my agent and I sold audio rights. We're working on translation rights and stuff. But I kept the print and ebook rights
Hmm.
myself, which means I got to pick my cover artist. I got to do the work with my cover designer and my interior designer, which is Adrienne M. Gibson, who
Beautiful.
you guys have had on.
What?
Yes. So anyone out there, if you need really like look at this gorgeous interior with like the details where we have like all the
Yeah,
circuitry and
that's
like the
amazing.
glitch effect on this. Um, if you are, considering indie pubbing something, Adrian does really, really solid work. And then you don't have to format the interior yourself, which is good because it sucks. It's so hard. Uh, but, but yeah, no, it was really important to me that this book feel like an experience to read. I don't know if that sounds corny,
No,
but it was
that's
you
That makes
know,
sense.
I wanted it to be immersive beyond just the words on the page. And we say, oh, don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, we all do, though.
I'm not
Like,
gonna lie, I always judge a book by its cover. It
It's
it,
such a
it has to be
bad
really,
phrase.
really
Like
well
it's just a
recommended.
lie.
it is. It's like, no, we always, everyone does. That's literally when I go to bookstores, I am the most, when I'm not reading like for SFF Addicts or for like a purpose, I'm the most chaotic reader ever.
Mhm.
I pick my books by just walking into the bookstore, finding one that I think looks like a vibe, and then buying it and reading it without even reading the back cover copy. Like I don't even read jacket copy. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
even, I
No,
just
I'm the
like
same way. I
dive in.
never
I don't read the
I
backs
n-
of books, honestly.
No,
yeah,
I
I
I
I'll
just
don't
just
go
look
in
at the cover and be like,
blind.
ooh.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it looks like a good cover and I'm like, "Oh, that author looks good." That's where like sometimes I'll watch videos where they're like, "Oh, this is the trend in media right now, this type of book cover." And I'm like, "Oh, they got me." Every single time they get me. Like I am the easiest manipulated person in the world when it comes to a book
For
cover.
a book cover.
I'm not gonna lie though, I've come across really great books that way.
Yeah.
Just like
Same.
saying, oh, you know what? That one looks beautiful. I'll read it.
Yeah,
That
I'll
or
check it out.
anytime a book person, like if I'm at a bookstore and they're like, I recommend this book, I'm like, oh, I'll pick it
Yeah,
up. If it
like,
has a good book cover and like a
Mhm.
bookseller signed off on it, that's all I need to know. Thank you.
yup, 100%. Okay, this is very validating because I like Adrian's always like, you do what? Like, that's so weird. And I'm like, maybe, I don't know.
That's
I
called
think this
being
is
a vibe reader. And I think that that makes
mhm.
sense for all three of
Yes.
us.
Mood readers unite.
Yes, I love it. Mood readers indeed unite. But yeah, so obviously the cover, the artwork, I worked really closely with Katerina on uh the design and the blocking. We have Sinya, we have Liv, and then we also do have Reina on the cover in
Yeah,
sneaky
I
form
saw that. I
and
loved that.
on the it's like billboard, kind of lording over everything as she does. But then even like, details like the typography on the cover here on the title. I wanted it to look like kind of like a glitch effect, right? Like, just get super cyberpunky in here. I want them
Yeah.
to be able to look at this book and immediately be like, oh, that's a cyberpunk book. And I think we've achieved it. But yeah, so we did a couple different iterations on the glitch effect on the cover. Sometimes it's just like kind of looked blurry from far away, and I was like, eh. So then Adrian ended up doing this really cool like double slash where it kind of
Oh,
takes it a little off kilter in between, which is fun. But yeah, it's just been really fun to have the creative control over that part of the process. Because I
well,
mean,
what else has been like different between like self-publishing and trad publishing for you? Like how have those processes differed beyond just like your access to your cover artist, etc.?
yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest differences is like just the full creative control over the book, which
Mhm.
is uh really cool but scary. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like there's no, I mean, I say there's no checks. I hired an editor, I hired a copy editor. You know what I mean? It's like there were
Hmm.
checks.
Mhm.
But there's no important person in an office in New York City telling me this book is good. I just had to go, okay, no, I believe in this book. And, I've had it beta read and people seem to like it. And okay, like let's take her out. So that's been a big difference just emotionally. The biggest difference though is control over timeline.
Mm.
Being able to like last October, I was like, I had finished doing my big re-edit on it, and I went, okay, I'm gonna publish this next summer. And I could just do that. You know what I mean? I could just make that decision and hire my cover artist right then, hire my editor right then, you
So
know?
did you query this one at all, or was this one that you're just like, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and publish it?
So yeah, this one I handpicked. I did send it to my agent just to see, you
Mhm.
know what I mean, what she thought. And she was like, we've been struggling to find a fit for my projects in the traditional market right now. There's a lot, especially for, it's just the trends. I'm not on trend with what
Mm.
trad wants, but I was, and so she was like, I don't know, with the cyberpunk and there's not, any romance plot to it. I don't know if it's gonna, it's not necessarily the thing. And I was like, she's like, we can try it though. And I was like, no, you know what? Because I know that there's a ton of cyberpunk fans, cyberpunk
Mhm.
readers. I have friends that are indie publishing cyberpunk, and I know that the audience is there. So yeah, I did run it by her just to see if there was space for it in trad right now, and then I went, okay, I think there's space for it in indie. So I guess we'll find out. Also, we have a cat visitor.
Ah,
Oh,
So
hello, kitty.
this is Evie. This is Evelyn
Evie.
Marie.
Oh,
She looks
Aw.
so happy to be here.
full
She just
government
like flops
name.
around.
I know. As I told you, you can flip her upside down. You can like run her around the apartment like an airplane. Not that I do that. I
That's
Not that
so
definitely,
you've done
good.
that before or
definitely
anything.
do that. Yeah, no, it's fine.
I always love a good discussion of like animals because my dog is also someone where it's like just flip her upside down. She's fine. She's okay.
Hmm.
Like I trained her not to lick people, and you can grab her snout, and she's like, "Oh, there, I'm not supposed to lick."
It's
And
like,
people are like, "She
okay.
doesn't like attack you." I'm like, "No, she's a good girl."
Like this is
Attack you.
my child,
This is
actually.
yeah. She knows she's out of line in this moment.
Right.
Well, this book is so amazing. Thank you for letting us read this. Everyone should
Yes.
go out and read
Go
it.
pick it up.
Like it's out today, so go get it. I
Hmm.
do think that cyberpunk is hitting a moment because I feel like I've just read a bunch of different cyberpunk books. So,
I feel like a
uh,
lot of these anti-capitalist things are hitting with people, and I think that even though this may not be what trad is looking for, I think it's what readers are looking for sure.
Yeah, I
I
hope so.
wonder why.
Yeah, I know, I know. I was like,
Hmm,
when I
what
was
could the
seeing that
connection be?
it wasn't, spaceport in trad, and they're like, I don't know if there's readers, and I'm like, I mean,
There are.
it's a book about fighting a techno-fascist regime and AI. Like I feel like this may be top of mind for
If you are
people.
sick of GLP-1 ads and all the chat GPT recommendations,
Oh
pick
gosh,
up
Yes.
I'm s
Killswitch
Pick up
Protocol.
Killswitch Protocol and
if
we
I
can
never
scream
have to
into the void together.
if I never have to sit through another meeting where it's like AI is changing the world and I'm sitting there and being like, not for the better.
Right?
Right.
And like, great.
Great,
We're
cool.
loving it here.
Like,
Anytime
yeah.
somebody tries to get into a discussion of, well, actually, AI, I'm like, you're gonna say something that I'm gonna be ticked off
You're
about.
like,
Like,
I'm
just
gonna
stop.
stop you right there. Yeah. Like, I'm with
Oh,
you. I'm with
so
you.
beautiful. Well,
But this is a great
MJ,
book.
yes, this
Thanks. Yeah. I hope people love it. Yeah, it's out everywhere. You can order it online. You can order it to your favorite indie bookstore. You can order a signed copy directly from my website, mjkuhn.com. So if you're international though, I mean you can order it international, but
Mhm.
the shipping is kind of expensive. I'm
Sure.
sorry. Uh,
there's so many other options though, so make sure you're
right?
using them.
You got
Yeah.
options.
And where all, you said your website, where all can readers or listeners find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on my website, mjkuhn.com, or mostly I'm on Instagram online. So at MJ Kuhn Books, all one word.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
And MJ, something we ask everyone who comes on the show, what are you reading, watching, and or enjoying right now?
Ooh, okay. So I'm in a big lit RPG like vibe right now.
Mm.
Like obviously
Hmm.
read Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm fully caught up on that. Then I read Discount Dan, which if you've read Discount Dan,
Discount Dan. Oh,
oh my gosh, it's
what?
so fun. It's a guy that gets drunk at a bachelor party and then wakes up in the back rooms and has to like fight his way out with the help of a talking dog made out of croc material.
Okay, that's
Obviously.
adorable.
It's so fun. It's really, really fun. If you liked Dungeon Crawler Carl, like check out Discount Dan. And so I read all the available books of that, and now I'm on He Who Fights Monsters, another
Mm.
lit RPG. So yeah, I'm like just lit RPGing it up. I'm all in.
Nice.
That's amazing. I always love it when it's like, oh yeah, this genre was made for me. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. It's like, oh, no, because at first, I'm like, okay, everybody, no, I mean, not everybody, but like everybody likes Dungeon Crawler Carl. And then I tried another lit RPG and another. I mean, I read Heretical Fishing too. It's like, I can't be stopped, you guys.
Like, I am the target audience.
Yes,
this was
right?
made for specifically me.
Yup. It's a book and a video game at the same time. Like, come on. I'm only
Amazing.
human.
That is beautiful. Everyone, go read the books MJ is writing or reading. go listen to her on SFF Addicts. Go just
Yes.
support all of the things. And as always, you know where to find us. OWWR Pod on BlueSky,
Mhm.
Instagram, and TikTok. Sometimes when I feel like posting on there, as well as ourpod.com. And, back to our regularly scheduled programming tomorrow. I believe we are in the year of the
The
Dresden, if
Dresden.
I foresee the future. Pray for us all. So, all right. Thank you again, MJ. You're welcome back anytime.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. This was so fun.
Of course. Bye.
Bye.